Hey everybody, we're out here at Cisco Live in Amsterdam, and I ran into Philip here, and we've been chatting about AI Toolkit and the time series foundation model. And there's a lot of new things happening there. Can you give us some highlights?
Thanks for having me, Jason. Good to meet good old friends and
Yeah.
different places in the world. So yeah, AI is a hot topic, especially in the era of agentic AI. I think we see a lot of great innovation coming, especially very much tied to our old, long-standing platform story that we have at Splunk. So as you know, our customers process some of the most precious, most insightful data that they can gather from all the different sources, and they can, on the one hand, build models on top of the data, historically, as we do with the AI Toolkit. But now if you think about extending this also to ready-built models like the Cisco Time Series Foundation one or the Security Foundation model, or also other available large language model or small language models, so kind of the different flavors, if you wish. Good news is we can all more or less plug them into Splunk and make them work with the data in Splunk in different ways. So to give you a few examples, imagine you have a log message that you don't really understand. And this is the one you actually found in a very classic way, searching for errors that occur in your system landscape. You're not the domain expert on that log, maybe, but you found the error. Great. But what does it actually tell you? So you could pipe it to an LLM, get a response of it. And if you use a optimized LLM that also makes use of specific knowledge that is embedded into it, you get a almost too good to be true answer, maybe. So how about that? You're not suffering from not understanding the log message. You can actually get a more insightful approach to what's going on. So that's just one example. So we see different patterns of those use cases appearing. Think of just a next level of deeper insights into the data you already have.
Yeah. So, if I understand correctly, like even in a Splunk search, SPL, I can go leverage other models directly from that search bar. Is that accurate?
Exactly. This was one of the announcements we have seen this week, that we have so-called Splunk hosted models. This literally makes it very easy for our customers to tap into the model and make it useful for the data you process, all from the search bar. So if you want to get it technically, we do a hide AI command, and you just have a prompt that you attach to it. And you could even specify a field in your data, and boom, off this field, you would work with the LLM, get the response, and you could iterate. So it's not just a one-time off. You could chain it with other things as you would chain other SPL commands. So this gives you a pretty rich set of also different capabilities. Now, if you mix in even classic machine learning or other ways of detecting and improving things, I think this is really a very, very big tool belt you can really tap in and make it all use straight away in the search.
Yeah, that's amazing. It really opens up a lot of the LLMs out there directly from your Splunk environment. It's really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, time series foundation model. How does that fit into the picture here as well?
This is another, for me, really next dimension of how we can work with time series data. Time series data. Usually we have events in Splunk, but these events can be used to extract maybe a certain KPI measurement. Think of a latency to connect to a system, or on the network, you can think of how many bytes are transferred in and out and so on. Of course, also arbitrary other KPIs, business KPIs you could define. Now, this is all a number moving through time series. The challenge is there are different algorithmic approaches to work with this time series data, like ARIMA, state-space forecasts, maybe a specific anomaly detection algorithm, like a density function that you want to run on that. It's useful, and I would compare it to different lenses into a reality that you're observing from the data. Now, the time series foundation model is a pre-trained model that was fed with millions of different time series with different seasonality patterns, with different, you could say, natures, how time series move. And very similar to an LLM that you have trained with a lot of language data, a lot of natural language data. You could think of it training an LLM with all of these different variations of time series. So that's the vocabulary, so to speak.
Gotcha.
And the advantage is now we can apply this straight away on your existing time series and say for two primary use cases, detect obviously anomalies. So where is something in the time series happening that is off? It might be a strong spike occurring. It might be some subtle fluctuation, but it always occurs maybe at midnight. And this is what you can spot there. This is the one obvious use case, anomaly detection. The other one is forecasting. So you want to know in the next 5 minutes, in the next 10 minutes, depending, of course, on the time interval you pick, what is going on next. And this is very insightful to be more predictive in that sense, how you operate, how you might detect an outage before it actually happens, because you see it already coming more or less in different data feeds. So this is the big potentials we have with this time series model. The other big advantage is you don't need to be a data scientist to build such a model. You can literally just take it off the shelf, plug it into your Splunk system, make it work. And the good news is it's today also available as a Splunk hosted variant. So you don't need to take care about where to put the model, have a GPU instance ready. So of course it requires to connect to our cloud services, but it's a very easy and quick way to get going. And once you have your first experiments running, your first detections maybe improved, your first predictions made better, you can take it to the next level.
That's amazing. A lot of great innovation there. Now, I want to go get more educated and get more information. How can I go learn some more?
So definitely I can recommend a lot of good blog posts that we have available from all the great Splunk colleagues around us, because, well, you sometimes discover something new, you do your research, you get things out the door. Documentation pages, of course, as well. We have a great place called Lantern, where a lot of different descriptions of use cases and patterns, how to build them out are there. So I think that's the top three go-to sources that come to my mind. Yeah?
That's really awesome information. Looking forward to getting started. Thanks so much for your time. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Jason.